Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great joy that I come to you today in this moment, in this beautiful day, this sunny day of South Florida. Like I told you, this is where I am residing, for the time being. This is where the Lord put me, and so this is where I am. I come to you today with no expectation whatsoever, just knowing that I'm here to do what's the Lord's command, And so I'm sure that you couldn't wait also for this moment. So let me welcome you once again to this great program that we have in place here called Sit and Talk. Welcome to our new edition today of Sit and Talk. As you know, my name is Pierre Fenelon. I'm the host of this wonderful program that you have here, and I hope that you have been, praying for us, and as we have been praying for you too. By the way, today is a great day for all mothers around the world. Actually, I would say mostly here in the United States of America. I'm not sure exactly, it just came out of my mouth, but I'm not sure exactly if it's around the world, because there are places they don't celebrate Mother's Day the same day as the second Sunday of May every year. This is what we have here in our calendar here in the United States of America. So if you are a mother, I wish you happy Mother's Day, and it's a great thing. Now, just on a short note, let me tell you that I have written a book, just last year actually, that talks about these things that we're talking about today about Mother's Day. The title of the book is Things to Know Before Marriage. So for some of you, you probably mothers for the first time, and this is great. I have met a few young ladies the past few months, been mothers for the first day, and this is the very first Mother's Day they're gonna celebrate. And this is wonderful. This is great. Some of them you would know that they're married, and they have their husband and their firstborn, and so this is great. And for some, the circumstances different, and we wish them also happy Mother's Days. And so this is great. Now, the reason I mentioned this book is because of the fact that being a mother is one of the roles that God given to women. When God created women, and mother is also came with a package. So the purpose of being a helpmate to your husband is because someday you will, have a family. Now, I'm not going to get into details, the ways or the how and when, all these things about, when you start a family. But the fact of the matter is, God has given this role to women, part of, the purpose of them being here on this earth. That's the reason why God gave Adam, the first created one, the male, a helpmate, a woman, the one that he drew from the man called woman, so that the command that he gave it to replenish and also to reproduce after themselves. And so if you are a mother for the first time, or if you've been mother for many, many, many years, here in America, we wish you happy Mother's Day. And it's very great, and I wish all the best for you, and also for those of you who just started. There are going to be many more to come, hopefully, if God bless you with many kids. And I wish you well, and also I wish that you also keep the course, following God's instruction, like I have taught you, for those of you who are following me. And so that way you can, you would know what the thing that God has placed you here on this earth to do concerning being a mother. In this book, Things to Know Before Marriage, that I have written last year, I encourage you to get a copy of it, if you will, and so they can have some idea, about the relationship and all these things. It's all about that. If you've been with me for many months now, I would say, you see that my focus is mostly on family. the well-being of family, especially those of you living here in the same country with me, United States of America right now. You see that our family been under attack. It's not something new, I would say. It is something that is more intense right now, because you see that different angles, families are being, under attack, and so we have to fight those battles in the ways that we have not, or maybe in a way that we never hoped one day we would. But this is where we are right now. And the only way we can, stand firm, and also any way we can really fight this battle with the help of the Lord, but it's being in the Word. And that's the whole reason why I come to you every time, to try to teach you, because the heart of God is it's about this nucleus that He created, a family. And so you see also that I have written several books, and they all have everything to do with this idea of family. And we were going to talk about some of those things today. And today I got to tell you this, that I am coming to you very nervous. The reason being, I'm not a guy that will get nervous very easily, but today I come to you very nervous for this reason, because I'm going to start a series with you. This is different from the ones that we have seen before, and the reason being because I want to tackle some of the issues that you have in your mind. You've heard this expression before, and I'm not sure exactly what it means, but I kind of have a sense of what they're trying to talk about. I'm going to really address the elephant in the room. Those things that you have in your mind that you've seen, or you heard, or you live around them, or maybe in some way you're being affected by it. For some of you, your own family members, or we've seen also, when we talk about in details, we're going to be talking about some of them. We're going to see some families are torn apart because of the fact one of the members of the family, either the wives or the husband, they just not only neglect their role, but they actually give up, or maybe they just walk away. You see there are all these things going on as far as adultery and divorce, a lot of problems, a lot of difficulties. They all come as a big, I would say, machine trying to destroy this nucleus that God has created, this beautiful one called family. By the way, I'm trying to say things here. I'm not saying it about myself. Like I said, I'm not a guru. I'm not an expert about anything concerning the subject. Everything that I'm teaching you, I'm trying to bring to your attention. I draw all my knowledge, my information from this book, the Word of God. I may, from time to time, using some examples, maybe my personal examples, or maybe some other people that I know close to me, or maybe something that I've read some places, or maybe, something like that. Whether good or bad, I'm probably gonna use those examples, as we go along, in order to explain clearly the teaching of God's Word concerning this nucleus called family. And so I have taught to you before so many aspects of that, where we came from and how we get about to live under this earth, and having to know our purposes here on earth, and the reason we should give reverence and worship and listen to God's Word, and show appreciation, and having a grateful heart, all these things, concerning this. It's all, get into the same, place concerning family. And all these things are, for instance, most of us, we learn the way we need to, comport ourselves within the society and wherever we may be, is because we have received those instructions from our own fathers and mothers. And now many of us, we are adult right now. We are in a place where we also have our own family. We're trying to instill in our kids the kind of things that we've received that are passed along to us when we were little. And so we keep on the legacy and the tradition of the good things and everything. And I think we all know that, depending on where you stand in the spectrum of life, that we don't really spend time teaching people, or our kids, or our family members, those who are dear to our heart, the bad things or evil things. They can, get those things on their own. They develop that kind of, habits and ways, that we don't need. They don't need a direct, I would say, teacher or somebody tutoring them how to do wrong. But we really spend a lot of time to instill good things, because that's where the teaching comes from. And so this is what we're all about. And today, like I said, I'm going to begin a series of lessons concerning, things that actually being a problem in our society. And I say the problem is not because I'm using my own, biased opinion concerning it, because of the fact that we grew, for instance, for many years to tolerate those kind of behaviors, and we are kind of like, we don't accept them. Personally, myself, I don't accept them, and we tolerate them because this is society. Everybody has a part of it. This is the only place that God has created for us to be in, human being, and also cohabit with the animal beings. Outside the planet Earth, I do believe that there is no other places in the universe that was made or was created for us to live. It's only the planet Earth. So we're all in it, whether good or bad, the ugly, and everything, we're all in it together. But the thing is, when something good happens in our planet, it affects all of us in a positive way. And the other thing also is true is when something bad happens, it also affects all of us because we are in it together. So we wouldn't be able to talk about certain things if those who have come before us have done their duties, have respected the laws being put in place, or also have followed the instructions the way they've given to them. I think I've said a lot so far, but let me actually give you clearly tell you exactly what we need to talk about. We're going to talk about in details, like I have said, the idea of sins right now with the S at the end, which is plural form, S-I-N-S. But I'm going to be focusing mostly on the things that relate to us as human beings in relationship with one another. In other words, what I'm talking about romantic relationship. Okay, so now we know for sure, and I have explained it to you many times, that my heart is in the family business, which is what God actually intended for all of us to live under this earth, not to live however we want. God actually built, if you would, established a structure for all of us. And some of the verses in the Bible, it says, okay, shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave to rise, both shall become one flesh. That kind of stuff. That the idea of coming together. You see on one side a man, and the other side a woman. They all come together, and so that way they can, live as a family unit. So basically, the underlying things that I want to tackle is we're talking about the perversity, the perverseness of the destruction, the distortion of family, in a sense. Those things that are attacking us in a way that really create a problem. It created a lot of confusions among not only the little ones, but some of us adults also, because there are certain things we cannot digest, if I may use that analogy, when we see it happening in our society, and also we see that now we get to a place where those things we used to, we've been used to keep ourselves away from, now they are elevating them as good. In other words, we're seeing things that we've grown as a human being, and depending on the age you've been living on this earth, that these are vile. These are things that are very, very bad. And now we get to a point where now we are using these things and elevate them in our society to applaud them and to make them appear to be as good. Because now people kind of like, destroying the fences that were put around to protect them from all those things. And everybody is accepting them, not because they're coming to invade ourselves, but we really open our hearts and our doors, our lives, to let them in so that we can kind of like, identify with those things as being part of our lives in the society. And so, if I may use this analogy right here, the reason there are companies that are out there are called, they have different names, but the actual reason they're here to destroy, to kill all the termites. Okay, they call it pest control. Those companies, they have different names, to identify them, so that way you know exactly the different services they offer. But the underlying thing, the main work they all do, regardless of the name they carry, they are here to destroy all the termites. Those things that are being annoying to you, those bugs, those termites, the rodents, the roaches, and all the ants, and all these things that in a home that you don't want them. You call the pest control people, and some people you even call the city to ask for help because you have so much problem, you don't know what to do, so you need experts to come in to help you with those things. Because they are annoying to you, they are a nuisance in your life, you want to get rid of them. Okay, so this is the kind of thing that we do. We understand that from the everyday life. We don't want anything to be a bother to us and a nuisance to our lives. Every time we feel like that we're being, annoyed by something, we try to, not only stay away from them, but we take steps in order to destroy what it is that are being annoying to you. So this is great, and I applaud the kind of effort, and I'm so grateful for those companies that are out there giving those kind of services to help people, because sometimes, those termites, they can ruin your home, depending on the shape and, the age of your home, whatever, or the zone or the area where you live. Those termites can be very, very, very problematic for the, sustenance of your place, and even attack your own life in some ways. For instance, you have rodent, those things. They're not supposed to be in your home, and roaches, all those things. I am taking my time with this because I just want you to see the picture in front of you, how really, in a sense, they'll become nuisance to you. And so therefore you want to get rid of those things. You do all kinds of things in your power, spend your money, and sometimes some of you don't even have the money in place, but you find a way, however, to get rid of this. Some people, there may not be that many, but people who, depending on the area where you live, you find this very troublesome for you. And so I have seen that too. I have seen that. But this is our nature as human beings. When we find there's something around that is being a nuisance to us, we try and we tend to get rid of it. We do that also in politics. When we realize there's some guy who's, being elected or some position, they're being a nuisance to you, you try to get rid of them. Every time we see the presidential circle, we see that happen. The majority, they don't like what happened with the last president, so the next election they come in and they trying to get rid of that one, or the whole party, in a sense, so that they elect a new party in place. And so they're kind of like, balance going on, that kind of stuff, because you realize that, okay, I can be better off with this group of people instead of the other ones. We see there's always a fight going on here in this country between the Democrats and the Republicans. There's not so much going on with the independents because they really don't have anything like a big voice like the other two do. But you know what I'm talking about, because some of you have been around more than I have. And you've seen also the past, I would say, 8 to 10 years in this country have happened concerning this. But really, I'm not here to talk about politics and everything. But although some of those things are going to be in relationship with the lessons that I'm going to be teaching you, I'm going to introduce to you in a minute. But I just want to kind of like, plow the ground to kind of like, give you a little preview of where we're heading. And so now I want to say something from a personal note, that what I'm gonna teach you right now concerning the lesson we're gonna have, not only for this video but the ones that are coming too later on, has nothing to do with my sense of preference, in a sense. Okay, and you're gonna see that as I'm teaching later on. It has nothing to do also with a group of people that have something personal, grudge or whatever against them or everything. For me personally, I think we are, like I said at the beginning, we are all in it together. Whatever happened in this planet, it affects all of us, one way or another. Okay, but it is important, though, just like we've seen, it's been a subject that everybody been talking about very recently in the last, I would say, a few years or so, and it's still talking about. We see there are people talking about, the climate change and everything. We see how they're talking about so many things that they really would like to see, and we also acknowledge there are a group of people that also not moving at all. They want to be in the same place that they have been before. They don't want any change. So if there's a kind of like, we don't have really an agreement among all of us when it comes to climate change. There are different opinions out there, and it's okay. But climate change, in a sense, it's a good subject, it's a good topic that we talk about. But at the same time, we are limited because we do not have all the power. We do not have all the means necessary in order to make the change I would love to see happen. In other words, what I'm trying to say, we do not have control over this universe to change it in the way we like. We just don't know certain things, but even though we don't like them, but we just don't have control over them. For instance, for me personally, even when I was a kid, I still have that feeling, but I still have to accept, because what happened when the lightnings, are taking place, when the thunder is out there, I don't like that kind of stuff. It really scares me. Especially the ones that are so, I would say, strong when you have bad weather is going on. And you see the lightnings are, flashing all over the place, and then the thunder comes in, so loud. When I was a kid, I used to go under the bed. I still have that feeling to go under the bed when I hear them. But it is something that I do not have control over. I cannot do anything about it, except to kind of like, manage my fear, when it comes, and try to find a way to cope with that sensation, that feeling that I have when the lightning, especially if you're driving, the lightning's flashing right in front of you. It's really scary stuff. And so I do not have control over that, no matter how much, and I do not like it, but I do not have control. So what I have to do, I have to stay, in my territory, if you will, and let the lightning and the thunder manifest themselves in the way they should. But there are precautions. There are things they said. There are certain things you should do. There are certain places you shouldn't be when lightnings are coming in. And I think there are some technology developed, to avoid, lightning strike in certain areas. These are great things, but we do not have control over those things in the universe, because we're not the one controlling them. We only can see how they manifest in our lives, in our environment. Do you follow? And so this is the kind of thing that we see. But there are a few things in life that we do have control over them. It's just the fact that we have the instruction in one hand over here that says, okay, this is what you do, this is not what you not do. But also, at the same time, we want to accept what they say here, as far as instructions, But at the same time, too, we do not want to fully in compliance with those instructions. What we're trying to do, we're trying to exert our own will in some way against the instructions. And therefore, that's what I'm talking about. Then things happen because of what you do. People, there are some instances, like there's some agencies, for example. Let me give a clear example of what I'm talking about. When, for instance, you go to the beach, right, and then you have these lifeguard people around. And so they've been trained to help people who are somewhat drowning in the water so they can rescue them. But there are times when things are getting worse, as far as the weather. And so now what happened, though, they put out some instructions, warnings, saying, okay, we don't want you to do this and this, that. But the idea here is not to come into your life, to rule over you, or to actually take over your life, against your desires, against your wills. But there are certain things, my friend, if you understand what I'm trying to say here, that we really have to pay attention, because now it comes to a point right now, you may not like what they say, the instruction that's given, for whatever reason, I do not know. But you proceed against those instructions. Now, here's what you do. It's not only your life you put in danger, but you put the persons that work for those agencies' lives in danger also. Why? Because you're going to force them to do things that otherwise they will not do. Had you listened or applied to the instructions, they wouldn't have to go out there and try to rescue you. Now, there are factors also that can come in place where, like I said, if you are on the water, on the sea, you're traveling, there are certain things happen, bad weather and everything, you're stranded. Now those agencies, personnel is going to come around to see if they can help you. These are, natural things. It's not something that you've done on purpose. But I'm talking about the ones that you purposely, you ignore those instructions. You go out in your way to defy all those things building in place, so that you force these people to come along and to find a way to help you with, to rescue you. So now, this is clearly what I'm talking about. Relationship in this realm of life, according to the way it started, to begin, we came to a place right now in the 21st centuries that we have developed, different lifestyles. And we have developed them to the way that it affects us. It affects our planet. It affects every individual in this life. Okay? Like I was going to mention, I already mentioned that I'm not here to bash anybody over the head. I'm not here to try, if you will, I don't like using that word, enforce my religion to anybody. Okay, that's not the purpose of this teaching today, of the study. I'm not here also to try to put a group of people down and trying to elevate another group. That's not the purpose of this lesson of the teaching today. I think I just want to sit down with you to kind of reason a little bit, because we have to talk about some of those issues. What is it that I'm talking about since I've been talking from the beginning? I'm talking about, we're going to talk about what we see happening in our midst, all the perversions that we see around here, specifically sexual perversions. That's what we're going to talk about. Okay, and then today I'm going to start with one of those topics, and then following that we're going to come with different types. Okay, all the things that happen. They're all based on the same thing about relationship. Now, my position has always been, and it continues to be, where God is. Okay, that's my position. Because like I said, I'm not a guru. I'm not an expert in everything. Everything that I'm bringing to you, I'm going to draw from this book, the Bible, the Holy Scripture. Now, for some of you, you're going to say, okay, what makes you think that what you're getting from the Bible is better than everybody else. That's beside the point, my friend. Okay? Everybody has written a lot of books. As a matter of fact, I've said and I've read so many books concerning what people putting together as far as relationship. But never anybody take any position to tell you what the dogma is. Everybody's sort of like relative or passive some issues. They're standing in the place where, okay, I'm not taking that position, I'm not this and not that. I can understand that. You don't want to offend a group of people and then make some group of people happy. Okay, that's important. I'm not saying it's not. But the idea is we need to get to a point where we need to talk about some things that are affecting our lives, that are affecting the growth of our being in this earth. You know, that are affecting also our relationships with one another. You know what I mean? There are certain things they're not supposed to. We need to define, we need to accept the definition of all things that have already been in place. One of the things I can tell you is this, and you know that to be true. I'm not the only one who knows that is true. Everybody in this planet, as long as you have reason, what I mean by that is you're not a young kid or a toddler or whatever. You get to a place where you can use your head to think about certain things. You know for sure that everything that you see in this planet, the planet Earth, they all been here before you came. There's not one thing, not a iota of a thing that you have put in this earth. You have not created absolutely nothing. You understand? You have not done anything to add to this planet. If anything, you have done things that try to destroy this planet, but not to make it better. We all understand that, myself included. Okay, so the effort that I am trying to make here, just like